Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all the things that you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted channel for the spirit baby realm who facilitates deep soul healing by delivering divine messages to you and teaching you how to connect with your spirit babies.
I'm your other host, Natalie, an intuitive mentor and transformative healer on pause and a new mom.
Yes. And be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts. Watch our 100% unedited episodes on YouTube. That's a bonus, by the way.
Yeah.
And you can also follow us on Instagram at McJaguar and at Intuitively Natalie for more weirdo and woo-woo content.
And if you like this episode, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, share it on your social media, and tag us so that more people can unleash their weird with you.
I was just thinking about how casual our casual podcast is.
It's so casual.
It's so casual. People are like, I'm in this group and people are like, what's your rig? And I was like,
Rig?
my old ass headphones and my computer. I do have a fancy mic, but it's too much. And I was like, and then I upload it, which took a long time last week. Sorry if it was late for you guys. And that's it, folks. I don't wear makeup. I put on a bra for you guys today. I did do that.
Nice.
There's no real deep research. Like, I mean,
No.
I appreciate the podcast that you can tell that they've done this research into this thing or whatever.
Production.
And I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. But also this just makes this happen if we keep it casual. Otherwise, especially now with a baby,
feels like too much if we were going to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah. So I hope you guys still like that it's casual, but we're going to do some fun stuff as we amp it up and get it going and have some guests on. I have some guests in the hopper, as they say. So
in the queue. Yeah.
And we're trying to get somebody to come on and talk about all the crazy astrology stuff that's happening. But if y'all are feeling it, blame the skies, as I like to say.
It's big shifts for March. Huge shifts for March.
I think the biggest one is that on the 7th, which is 2 days from today, we're recording on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not from when you're listening to this. I love this. Saturn, Daddy Saturn.
Daddy.
Listen to our daddy issues episode. Taskmaster, teacher, kind of a hard ass.
Yeah.
He's moving into dreamy, Neptune driven, Pisces, swirly, woo,
Yeah.
And the little phrase I've heard from my mentors, the Astro Twins, is structure to your spirituality, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
That means take that course, take that class, start doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing. I'm just like, yep, still meditation is what they want you to do. I know.
Get out in nature. Yeah.
I know. Freaking nature. I remember I had one client, freaking nature. And I was like, I know.
Every time that's the answer.
It's a real beast.
50% of the time that's the answer.
I'm like, seriously, holding a pine cone will change your life. But it still will. So structure to your spirituality. I think we can talk about more astrology stuff as it comes up, but what do you think about the whole time of it, that it was in Aquarius? That was the pandemic, basically. It came in like March 21st, 2020. Mm-hmm. The whole society Aquarius vibes, and now we're moving into Pisces. What advice do you have for people, Natalie?
Oh, I always feel like it's rough in the beginning. I feel like it's rough, right? Because right when Saturn moved into Aquarius, it was the pandemic, and then it was lockdown.
Yeah.
There were rules around the collective.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of rules are going to be put into place? Because Pluto is moving too.
Yes. On my birthday, you guys.
Pluto's a destroyer. So what is Pluto going to destroy simultaneously while Saturn is trying to enforce? And in Pisces, which is a boundaryless sign, it's so feely, it's so emotional, it's so enmeshed with the other. So I guess personal boundaries are probably going to come up a lot too.
Oh, I love that. That's really good work to do, though.
Huge.
Always a refresher. I think I was talking to somebody, and when you do a bunch of spiritual work for maybe 5, 7, 12, a good amount of time, right? And you're like, I should be done by now. Right. And Spirit's just like, go boom. They just drop this big textbook on your. Yeah. And they're like, more layers. And my friend and I were saying that, like, it's like a lotus bloom. She goes, or like an onion.
An onion for sure.
And it's like, okay, the lotus bloom is like all the great stuff of your spirituality journey. Like, you're freaking talking to God and you're humming with this tree and you're like in tune with all the things, right?
Sky Daddy.
Right. And then there's like the onion, still layers, still unfolding, still, lotus is 1,000 petals, right? But it's the stinky shit. It's the stuff that you buried and didn't look at and, didn't pay attention to and all that kind of stuff. So it's both.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's like a corpse flower,
Oh my
they bloom,
God.
but it smells bad.
I know. I like seeing all the memes, like that little girl who's on the teacups and she's like, ah,
yeah.
It's like, you thought your spiritual journey was going to be one thing and it's not.
Here we are.
Not for the faint of heart, as they say. My husband and I were just talking about that this morning. We're just like, we're all fired up about all the things going on in the world. And we're both just like, why did we reincarnate now? And thinking about our privilege and, me being a woman, him being a man, and, in white bodies and just, and I'm like, we're here to like hold the space for all this purging that's going on right now. Like this has been built up for hundreds and thousands of years. So,
and also grocery delivery. I feel like it's a great time to be alive because my groceries can be delivered.
Yes. Oh my God. My mom will not do it. She's like, I just don't want somebody picking out my tomatoes.
I get it.
Let me tell you, Mom.
I get it. And you really have to like vet your local stores.
You do.
Because like there's one store in our town that we cannot get grocery delivery. They've sent us rotten fruit, the completely wrong items. But the Whole Foods in town is excellent. I trust them to pick out my produce.
Yeah, because, and I think too, like generally, like if the store has good produce, it's going to be good produce. I had a friend though post on Facebook that she put 4 bananas in her cart, like wanting 4, and she got 4 giant bunches of bananas.
It's always kind of a surprise because you don't really know what the rules are.
Yeah, I got somebody's whole entire order. I got somebody's like blueberries. I got their pumpkin seeds. I got some other things. And I was like livid that I didn't get all of mine. And then I realized it was a bonus. And my guides are like, did you want to take that back? Did you want to bless that abundance? And I was like, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So abundance can even come in misdelivered groceries.
Yeah. It can come in anything.
Okay. What other rules around our spirituality? Now you got me thinking. I don't like rules.
Well, I feel like they come
boundaries
to your awareness really strong in the initial part of Saturn moving into a new sign. And then they slowly, like, then you can sort of like reframe them.
I would say it's going to be an abrupt change. Like a new teacher comes in and writes his name on the board. I am Mr. Saturn.
Yeah, it is.
And you're all like first day. So March 7th is first day of school, children. Let's see what this teacher has for us.
And this is airing after March 7th. So this will be interesting to reflect on what's changed.
I'll tell you who showed up in our classroom. What was written on the blackboard.
It depends on what house it's in too, though, because what's your Pisces rule over?
Oh my gosh. What does my Pisces rule over? It rules over my feet. No.
In general. Yeah.
In general. I don't know that yet, you guys. See, Natalie's going to continue to quiz me. Okay. It's in my Mars is in Pisces.
What house?
7th house of relationships.
Oh, it's going to change your relationships.
Yeah.
Challenge you with boundaries there.
Yes. We've already been talking a lot about that.
Love that for you.
Have you heard of Fair Play?
Like the town in Colorado that South Park is based off of?
No, is that really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. No, it's this game. I don't know. It's not a game. It's a system. There's people who can like coach you in it. It's kind of helping to redistribute like chores around the house, but also just like having a more fair and balanced like relationship and marriage. That's how it came to me, was like how people are using it for chores. But yeah, it's this whole thing. Like, I think that's part of it, right? It's like,
oh yeah,
let's have fun, but like, let's actually talk about our boundaries. And like, I love that they fucking made a card game, because like, here we are, like Cards of Humanity.
Love
and
it.
If you guys played, what was that one called? Like Apples and
Apples to apples.
Apples to apples. Yes.
Yeah, I
Did
loved
you
it.
play
That was
Oh,
like
love that game.
beta version of Cards Against
Yeah,
Humanity.
it was. Because you could get mean in apple to apple. People were like, ouch, you didn't have to be mean. So Cards Against
Yeah.
Humanity is like, let's just be mean.
I
And
love
so
it
this
so
is
much.
the same thing. And I think there's a couple of other like people have recommended a couple
Iterations,
of other
yeah.
like decks and a deck type learning things. But I was like, how cool. So this is like, hey, let's pull out a card. And then it, has a discussion topic and it talks about like one of the things they were talking about that I was watching was like you and your partner agree on tasks, right? Like I'm gonna, empty the garbage and you're gonna do the dishes, whatever. Well, it's like if they empty the garbage, but they don't put the garbage bag back in, then they're not completing the task. So
Right.
then you got to go do it. So you're not actually lightening the load for your partner. You're making more of it. Or like this other woman was saying, like her husband was giving the kids the bath, but then the next day she had to like clean up the bath toys and her towel was all wet and soggy and blah, 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 blah. So she's like, then it gives you like this format to talk about like, hey, but like in the form of like this playfulness, which I just think is kind of cool.
I like that. I've heard about, there's another term for it. It's like taking, I don't know. It's like when your partner asks you a question instead of just finding the answer themselves. It's like you're giving them extra work without
like
knowing
your Siri.
Or like buying your partner flowers without cutting them and putting them in a vase. Like you're buying them work.
Yeah, like you didn't give me a gift, you gave me a task. I think
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now I'm remembering the word that they're using. So this card game, this fair play thing helps with the mental load, right?
Mental load, that's
it
what it
helps
is. Yeah.
bring that into visibility because people can't see it, which I was like, this is cool.
That's the silent work of motherhood.
Yeah. And so Dan and I were talking about that. My husband Dan and I were saying like each generation gets a little bit better. And a little bit better and a little bit better. And so like, it's hard to be like, why is it still burning though? And it's like, but it's not burning as badly.
Yeah.
Right.
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 Obviously you're talking about it. It's not that
bad. Yeah. Yeah. So my relationships are going to change.
Yeah. You need some
going to be
fun.
Some
boundaries there.
And Mars is my, my energy
Take
levels.
action. How you take action.
Fucking Pisces. Having Mars in Pisces is a real joke, you guys.
No, it's not. You take action in a very empathetic way.
Like only when I feel
yes,
like
also true.
The Aries part of me is like, hello, let's
and
go.
The Virgo.
Yeah. And the Virgo, like, let's be seen. And the Mars and Pisces is like, or we could just like lay here until we feel it, you guys. We're gonna do that.
Well, yeah, my Mars is in Aries, so I don't know about that life.
But you're like that's why you get
do.
so much. You're like, that's why I talked to her and I'm like, 10 years later, I'm like, I finally did my first course. And she's like, I've already done all this stuff today, Jessica. And I've done this and I've done that. Okay, that's awesome. What is your Pisces in?
My fourth house of home.
Oh, so your home is
and it's my moon.
And your emotions around home are going to change. That seems fair.
I think that's really fair. It's like taking on a new role in your, like a caregiver role, literally. And I obviously just had a kid.
You did. And it's well, and they kind of say who are these they? But like she's about to be she's 3 months, right? So
3 months.
And like now, like March 7th, right?
Yeah.
And this is for 3 years that it's here. That's a really big stage, right? That's like finishing off. I guess she's no longer a newborn now. She's just
not
like
a newborn.
Infant. Okay,
she's
so
a baby.
She's an infant or a baby, and then whenever she becomes a toddler and that kind of stuff, like that's the next big like chunk for you. And you're gonna be at home, and it's gonna be emotional.
It's gonna be. It already is emotional. I'm emotional all the time. Oh my god! My nephew has been in this like basketball tournament. They won, by the way.
Oh, good.
They won, and he's 8. And we went to his game a couple weeks ago, and then we went to the final games yesterday. And like a couple weeks ago, I hadn't been to one of his games. Jenna had gone, but I hadn't gone before. And they like play the NBA, like the like they play that as they run out onto the court, and I started bawling. I started sobbing. I'll cry. I'm gonna cry talking about it because I was just like, how special they must feel.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Like, imagine being 8 years old and they play like NBA music to you running out to the court and they announce your name. It's like a walkout song. Like, oh, I cried because that's so special.
And sure,
Yeah,
people
I'm
are
just
like,
emotional.
I was gonna say, like, I'm sure you're just like, it's like pouring out, and you're just like, I can't help it.
I have no control. And because I'm crying, Jenna cries. Like we're both just so emotional now after me.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does touch into your emotions, right? Like,
We're saps.
sorry,
We're fucking saps.
I had to cough.
But yeah, structure in my home is going to be a big theme,
Yeah,
especially if down the line we add another.
yeah.
That's going to take some structure.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's within this 3-year window. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll update you as to what goes on in our lives over
I'm
the
like
next 3 years.
in my mind, like knowing that it's going to be kind of rough up front. Like she's facing this 4-month sleep regression, which is like a
Mm.
huge developmental leap in the next month. I feel like that's the rough. It's coming.
Okay, my guys are saying, what do we do when we know it's going to be rough?
I
And like,
panic.
I was going to say, my first thing is we say no a lot more to things, right? Like we just like
Yes.
take our list and cut it in
Nope.
half.
Mm-hmm.
We like up our self-care, we up our practices that help us. You're like, what self-care?
Shower every 2 days instead of every 3.
You're like, my self-care is going to the bathroom and using nice toilet paper.
Yeah, if I get to poop during the day, that's a great self-care day.
So what can we do, Natalie? I'm just thinking, like, can we use some essential oils in that bathroom?
Honestly, I think what's going to help, and if any other moms have gone through a 4-month sleep regression, like I'll I'll let you know if it works. But we're not sleep training like we talked about in the last episode. So I think having her sleep with us will help.
Yeah.
Because it's about like they're installing their new like adult sleep cycles. They'll have 5 cycles of sleep instead of just the 2. So having her in the bed with us, if she wakes up, it's easier for her to go back to sleep because she's like, oh, I'm safe. Okay, I can go back to sleep. So like not sleep training her during this regression, I think is going to help a whole bunch.
She has 5 and we have 2. Are you talking about like REM, that kind of stuff for
Newborns have 2 sleep cycles, active and inactive, deep sleep.
They're either like awake or like dead asleep.
They're either dead asleep or they look like they're awake, but they're not.
That's weird.
They're wild. She's wild. It's like a gator death roll in her sleep setting. Like it's wild.
Oh,
They
I've seen
talk, they
babies do
scream.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
grunt. Yeah, they're super loud in the active phase. But that like after the 4-month sleep regression, they're getting their full 5 like we have.
What are the full 5?
I don't know that I could name them, but one of them is REM.
Like, name the 5 sleep
Well,
cycles.
it's like I
REM.
know light sleep, and then I think the 4th one is REM, 5th is deep sleep.
Okay.
I don't know what 2 and 3 are.
They're probably just like lower progression.
Middle stage sleep. Yeah, I don't know.
Why did you look like a troll?
I don't know.
Middle stage, where they can wake and never go back to sleep again. Oh my God. If people can figure out how to get babies to go to sleep.
It's different every day. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. If one thing worked one day, last night it took 2.5 hours to do bed. 2.5 hours to do bedtime. I'm going to repeat 2.5 hours of my life trying to get my baby to go to sleep.
Does it start out like, this is going to be a long one? Like, do you know?
You never know. You never know. I have
Mm.
anxiety around bedtime now because you just don't know how long it's going to take. That's my fresh anxiety. That's not fresh.
Because what gets
Been
to
there.
happen after she goes to bed? Is that just like
I
you're
get to go
waiting,
to sleep.
like you're waiting for your like moment? Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to kind of like check out. Like
For a
that's
little bit.
why it gives you
Yeah.
that's why it gives me anxiety because I don't know when I'm going to get to check out because
Yeah.
you have to be so on all the time.
And even your checkout is not that long.
No.
But you know, the minute she's asleep, that checkout window starts.
If she stays asleep,
Yeah.
there's this fun thing they do called like false start bedtime. They'll fall asleep for like 20 minutes and then wake up. She did that last night.
Oh, was that part
I
of the
decided.
2.5 hours? Or did the clock start over? Okay.
Yes, no, that was a part of it. We tried to put her to bed before us, but that's difficult when you co-sleep, when you bed share.
Yeah.
because she knows we're not in the bed. So she will not stay asleep. And we
Do
didn't want
you
to go to
like
bed at 7.
do you like get into bed with her until she falls asleep and then can you sneak out?
She will know. Jess, it's like in the morning, I can't even wake up before her and like scroll on my phone. It's like my eyes open. I look over at her. Okay, she's still asleep. I'll look at the time. I look back over. Boop, eyes open. She's awake. It's like she knows.
Oh my God, that's so funny because that's how my dad used to describe me looking at him. He used to go, like I would just be like, well, they're like, so what are we doing today, huh? You seem to be the person who's here a lot.
Yeah.
Helps me out.
You seem to be the person who's here. Yes. That's and she's like, she's found her voice this week.
Oh yeah. You said she was talking.
Oh my God, she's talking so much. It's not cooing. It's like, like it's like babbling.
That's cool.
It's so funny because last night we were trying to put her to sleep and getting like really frustrated because she wouldn't fall asleep. And Jenna like had the pacifier in her mouth and she spit it out and we were like, we're gonna so frustrated. And then she started talking and then we were both laughing like, what? This is not the time.
You're like, I'm supposed to be frustrated with you now, little one. Now you're being
and
cute.
So funny. Yeah.
She's probably just trying to lighten the mood.
She's a pill. I don't know.
But like she can sense your frustration, right? Like this is what I tell my
100%,
clients, right? So it's like the more you're frustrated, and then if now you have anxiety, like she's sensing that too. So she's like, oh fuck, okay, mom, I'll stay awake with you then.
Because I'm anxious too now. Yeah. It's contagious.
So it's like, how do you work through that, right? How do you
It's not every night that I'm like super anxious about it.
Yeah.
It's just some nights. And I think talking about it helps. It helps alleviate and telling myself like I accept what is happening.
Yeah.
You just have to accept what's happening.
I feel like that should be on my nursery wall.
It should be. I accept.
Forget like happening. Giraffes. No fucking mantras for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
They can't read. They don't know.
I know, right. Or do they?
Or do they? I'm gonna have like a chalkboard wall in my nursery. Just be like, okay. In my nursery, like I have these extra rooms in my home.
Soon.
That's right.
We're manifesting.
Yeah, I might be moving.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's exciting.
Okay. What else? Are we caught up? Do we have anything else to catch up about?
We make lists, you guys. Also had pink eye.
Yeah.
Well, it was like it was kind of pink eye. It wasn't the contagious pink eye. She, I think, has a clogged tear duct.
I did not know there were so many different kinds of pink eye when you told me that she had pink eye. Of course, I was like Googling
Surprise.
it.
It's conjunctivitis.
Yeah. And then there's like many forms of it. And they were showing me, there was like pictures of like, this blurry eye with yellow shit is this kind. This blurry eye is this kind. And so I want to be like, does she have yellow shit on it? Like, are her eyes bloodshot like she was smoking pot in the 60s?
That's bacterial. Yeah, that is bacterial.
Yeah. And I was just like, how did she get it? And I was like, it seems odd that a baby would get that because of what we think of.
Super common.
Yeah. And then they're like, it's common for babies' tear ducts to like not fully open. And I'm like, why is that? Why?
I know I was texting you about the energetics. Like there had to be an energetic reason because she hasn't been exposed to anything. Yeah. My dog that eats poop did not lick her. I have kept her away. Like she can't reach her diaper yet. Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
That it would have been like a bacterial, like E. coli.
Oh, like they can reach their diaper and then touch their face?
Yes.
Good God. Oh my God.
Babies are constantly self-sabotaging. It's tough to watch.
Oh my God.
But yeah, she got a clogged tear duct, which is interesting as Saturn moves into Pisces. She's also a Pisces moon.
Maybe it was like an empathy to your clogged milk duct. She's like, hey, mom, I got you.
Yeah, if it's not my milk ducts, it's her tear duct.
We're just going to be clogged together. Sucks. Okay. We're just going to just move this generational, collective, universal trauma. Okay. Yeah. Pisces season. And when she's a Pisces moon, like you?
Yeah, like me.
Oh,
it's pretty cute.
I think that's cute.
It is cute. We'll like emotionally get each other.
I know. That's fucking good. Especially with the Pisces moon.
Yes. It's nice.
You'd be like, I get it.
I get it, sis. We're the same. Simpatico. By the way, I learned the Spanish word for titties over the weekend.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to hear this.
In case anybody wants to know, it's tetas. So we're gonna teach her, like sign language. We're supposed to start baby sign language, and this is milk, and I'm just gonna start saying like tetas.
Okay, so she's gonna learn English, but you're gonna also you're gonna teach her milk tetas, like both, or
I'll probably
just
just teach her
Spanish?
tetas because it's fun. She'll learn eventually what milk is. Have you ever heard? I think it's like Steve Martin that has this
Oh
whole
my
comedy
God.
stand up about like teaching your kid wrong. Like my dad growing up worked for Southwest Airlines. So whenever there was a plane flying in the sky, we called them paychecks on airplanes. And like there's this whole Twitter thread about people lying to their kids and telling them that like when the ice cream truck makes noise, it means they're out of ice cream.
Right, exactly. I just feel like this is gonna like do her well if she ends up in like in a Spanish speaking bar somewhere. She'll just be like, she'll know it. She'll be like, thanks, moms.
Tetas.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay. Her vocabulary is on the way.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But yeah, her pink eye.
Yeah.
So I called the pediatrician. I wasn't sold on calling the pediatrician, because I don't like Western medicine.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like Friday. Everything always happens in the evening or on a weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm like calling Friday afternoon. I can't even, I have to call in a small window of time because I can't do anything while she's breastfeeding. She freaks out. I can't do it while she's napping. She'll wake up. So I have like a small window of time to call. So I called. They didn't have any appointments. But they were like, oh, you need to go to urgent care to get her some erythromycin ointment. And I was like, well, you don't know that it's bacterial. Why would I give her an antibiotic ointment
on the phone?
No.
Oh, like, give her the nurse smackdown.
It's not the right audience. It won't be received. If I've learned anything. But instead, I just put breast milk in her eyes for a couple days and it's cleared up.
Whoa.
Yeah, because breast milk's like antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, anti-inflammatory. Like it's liquid gold. You could put it on anything.
Did you read somebody else that did that? Was that an intuitive knowing? Were you like, I'm just gonna try it because what if I know about what I know about breast milk?
I had heard a while ago of someone using it to treat bacterial pink eye and it worked. All of that, there's no like evidence, and this is not medical advice. It's purely anecdotal, but there's like a bunch of anecdotal evidence about it working. So
that's, I mean, again, I think like there's this fine line between like medicine and our natural abilities, right?
Agreed.
Like medicine has maybe helped us live a lot longer, but we still have a lot of
cost.
Yeah, at what cost? And we still have a lot of our own natural healing abilities,
So many. And like I'm glad that the pediatrician didn't have appointments because I was like, I didn't really want to take her in anyway. They're just gonna give her an antibiotic ointment, and I don't think she needs it. So over the weekend, we'll just try breast milk and see how it goes. And it's going great.
Get that titty out. Get your tetas.
Tetas.
You have to say it like the Spanish say it.
Tetas.
Get your tetas out. Put a little bit of that leche.
Easy.
Right?
Boom.
In the ojo. No problemo. See. I wish I spoke more Spanish, actually. That's actually one of my goals, is to get better at it.
Yeah. Well, you grew up in California, right?
Grew up in California. I studied it in like high school and college.
Yep.
I lived there in Spain, but I don't practice it here a lot. But I love speaking it. Language. You know what? Music is the best way for me to learn it.
Oh, well,
listening to like Spanish music and
those associations. Mm-hmm. Selena.
Dancing.
Listen to bitty bitty bum bum. Isn't that Selena?
I don't know.
It is. Oh my God. I forget like the rest of the world that like Selena's death wasn't a big deal, but like I lived in San Antonio when she died and it was a huge deal. The city was in mourning.
Yeah, it was a big deal in LA too. I remember that. I didn't really like know her all that well. I didn't go, we didn't hang out.
You weren't cool like that. I bet you could channel her.
I bet I could. Wasn't it a tragic death?
Wasn't it her boyfriend?
Yeah, it was like early domestic violence kind of a thing.
Yes. Oh, I have chills.
Ooh.
Is she reincarnated yet? Will you ask her?
This is how like normal conversations go when your friend's a medium. Will you just quickly ring up Selena? Oh, yeah, let me get her real quick here. Hello, Selena.
Oh, if she shows up in a bejeweled bra, we'll know it's her.
Yeah, so what my guides say is no, because her impact is still reverberating.
Oh, ooh, chills. I feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah, she's got a statue at Corpus.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And just
Mhm.
like, still inspiring, her story still being told. Almost like
Oh,
they're saying modern, what are those called? Like saints and mystics, or,
yeah.
modern saints, I guess is what they're saying. She's a modern saint.
Oh, Saint Selena. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna start praying.
I love that.
I'm gonna light a candle for Saint Selena.
Why not?
Yeah, she was an icon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just feeling her energy.
Was it
I
spicy?
no. It's actually like what I just feel is she had like so much passion, so much emotion, so
Yeah.
much desire to like do this work of like performing and singing, but like it was just her music was like healing and
Yeah.
like just it's just different is what they're saying to me, like because I feel into the crowds and like how they feel like it's
Mm.
like yes, it's good music, yes, you're having fun with your friends at a concert, all that good stuff, but it's like you leave the concert, you leave that environment just feeling like uplifted, they're saying to me, like
Mhm.
transform, cleanse, change. Yeah. So it's like that. It's like that level of loss. It's like those people whose presence is their energy work or their energy healing. That was her.
That was her. Oh, I have full body chills on that. That's true. And she
Ooh.
was such like a she was so important for like Spanish Mexican communities
Hmm.
for visibility.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes.
Mhm.
P- uh, um, pave the way is what they're saying to me for
Absolutely.
so
Oh,
many, for Shakira and J Lo, and
mhm.
I mean I know all those people were still up and coming, but just really um
Cleared a path.
cleared a path, or was definitely one of the path clearers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Thanks, Selena.
yeah. Saint Selena.
Does Saint Selena have any advice for Saturn and Pisces? She seems emotional. She could some good advice.
Oh, so she's funny. The energy I get is make a playlist.
I love
When was the
that.
last time you made a playlist that you can just be like sad to, feel to? Like it's time, people. Make a
It is
playlist. Get your
time.
Spotify out, because if you listen to us on Spotify, hi.
Hey.
Favorite us, like us, share us, all that good stuff. But also make a playlist and like share it with us. Tag us in it. Let us know
Yeah.
about it. We love a good playlist for
I
Pisces.
love a good playlist.
Thank you, Saint Selena.
Thanks, Saint Selena. I love that so much. I love that she came through.
I love that you're just like ring her up, but I'm like, she's actually has pretty big energy. I wasn't sure. I didn't know like how human she
Oh
was, but
yeah.
she's kind of, when they're bigger like that, they're kind of easier to talk to. They're saying that she shares in other divine energies. She's like, that you can be a lineage of a divine energy. Like people are like, oh, I'm so and so reincarnated. Like yeah, you can be, and so can your friend.
Yeah.
You can be reincarnated in like multiple parts of a divinity's energy, and she is definitely that.
That's why so many people say that they were Medusa or Cleopatra in a past life. Because you probably
Yeah,
were pieces of it.
yeah. Or you just want to feel better about yourself.
Or you were part of it.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think I don't have any energy tied to that, but
No, I don't either, but I think people do sometimes, and I don't know. A friend sent me this like this person, a lot of people do this in my friendship group. They're like, what do you get from this person, Jessica? What's
oh,
your read, right?
uh-huh.
And so I looked at this person's website, and they had like a video, and I was like, here's the thing, he's not my cup of tea.
Hmm.
I think he does have good intentions, but like a lot of the stuff that he was saying on his website, he's like, we use these ancient healing techniques, and I've traveled 13 years doing all these things. Like who? What people? What ancient
Name them.
yoga? Yeah,
Call
name
them out.
them. Call them out. Like, because I'm just like, yo, you should respect your teachers. Like, I
Give
always
cred.
respect your teachers. Yeah, like it's okay for you to reteach something or to teach it in a new way. Like people do that all the
Yeah.
time. But like give credit to where those ideas came from. Give credit to like what you're building upon or giving a new thing to. So when I saw, when he's trying to market to me and they're like ancient whatever, and then I'm like reading through it, I'm like, okay, so breath work, okay, so breathing, okay. And like, okay, so meditation, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're getting to the subconscious where everything fucks up your life. Okay.
I
Like,
get
but
that they're
nobody
trying
wants
to
to just say that. So and then
I
the
know.
picture of him he was like flowing.
Mhm.
I have a real problem with
I know.
I got to dig into that myself, but I was just like, I don't know. But I told my friend that, and she was like, I appreciate your opinion. And I said,
Yeah.
sometimes this is a red flag for me, but I also wasn't like, don't go see this person. I was just like, I don't
Right.
think they're for me. And then she texted me and she's like, oh my God, it was amazing. And this exact song came on that relates to me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, boom, then it was for you. Like that
Mhm.
person. So that's what I would say. Like when you guys ask me things, or want me it's like going to be my opinion, and it may not resonate with my soul's work, but and so like sometimes they're like, oh, I won't go. I'm like, well, you should still go if you're feeling called, and if you want to
Yeah.
listen to my advice or be aware of it, like great, because you asked
But
my
also,
opinion.
I feel like they're looking for validation for what they already know also.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so like and it was interesting because I was like, I'm not gonna just be like, yeah, this person's great, go for it, like I was like,
Right.
here's my honest opinion, but I will also say like I don't feel anything bad either,
Mhm.
like whereas I can look at other people's stuff and just be like,
Feels a little dark.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt this person that they wanted me to look at. I felt his heaviness
Mhm.
on his work. Like he's like with CEOs and celebrities and all this kind of stuff. And I could see as he was saying that I was like, not that satisfying, is it?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
The more that you talk about it, like I think I know who you're talking about.
We're not going to out this person,
Yeah.
but after we get off the podcast, Natalie and I will.
Yeah.
We'll dish the
So,
dirt.
is it
No,
libel or slander?
yeah, one of those. We're just
Yeah.
gonna steer clear because it's a
Mhm.
casual podcast.
Mhm.
But all to say that trust your intuition on those kinds of things,
Yeah.
right? And ask your intuitive friends and ask, if you want, but like it should reverberate, right? It
Mhm.
should like if I'm saying don't go and that's a truth for you, you'll not go. If I'm saying don't go and that doesn't reverberate and you go, that's for you.
That's for you. Yeah. Agreed. There's so much, I think with Saturn and Pisces also, like growing your intuition is going to be huge this year, which is like,
Mhm.
hello, I have a course about it. You can take it if you want. It's still up there. And it's great. But
Yeah, it is.
have been I've been asking my mom so many things. Guys, parents, pre-internet parents, wealth of information. Even though maybe not was not like the healthiest parenting
Oh,
environment, like
pre-internet parents. I love that.
pre-internet parents, like I'm asking my mom so many because there's so much information out there, right? And
Mhm.
I've had this like breastfeeding journey.
Yeah.
Ugh. And on one hand, I've got the internet telling me all of these different things. I've got lactation consultants being like, you have to pump at least every 5 hours or else you're going to lose your supply. And then I'm like, Mom, what did you do? Because she didn't
Yeah.
have any of that. And she's like,
Yeah.
super intuitive. And she's like, I just fed you when you were hungry. Like,
And she would just pay attention to hunger cues or what? Yeah.
yeah. And because I like want to sleep at night, I don't want to have to stress about waking up to pump.
Mhm.
So finally I was like, Mom, what did you do? And then I had to really lean in and be like, what feels best for me?
Yeah.
Like, because I've had so many issues with clogged ducts, I get worried, like, oh, am I going to get more clogged ducts if I stop pumping overnight? But she's sleeping through the night. So, like,
Mm.
this is a false milk supply. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so much when you're
A,
breastfeeding.
a false milk supply, like your body will think that you need to keep doing it at night
Right.
versus like, oh,
Giving her what
maybe
she needs.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah. So I've stopped pumping
at night.
overnight. Yeah. And I'm just like waiting for her. I'm not setting an alarm anymore. I'm just like waiting for her to wake up and tell me when she's hungry. And so far, it's been great. Knock on wood. This goes against completely what the lactation consultant told me, but I really had to like lean in and just trust my gut.
You know what? And I would say this too, like do not be afraid to change who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like I was following this client who I love and adore, and I've been watching her journey, and she's like, I used to do this and now I do this, and actually I feel okay. And so it's like be open and honest that like you tried the way that everybody said, or you used to do it one way, but life circumstances have changed and now you're doing it a different way and it's okay and you like it.
Hmm.
And you used to be like an advocate of not doing said thing. Like
Right.
I think people sometimes get a little too strict and rigid in their thinking, and this
Mhm.
sometimes pushes us in or lovingly forces us into trying other things or seeing that the other way is not that bad. It's not the end of the world.
Right. Normalize changing your opinion when presented with new information.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And also ask your mom if she was born before the
Yeah.
internet, if she was a parent before the
Oh
internet,
my
wealth of
God.
information.
A parent before the internet. You're making me laugh and
I
also cry.
love it.
Oh
I'm
my
asking
God.
her all of the things. Of course, she's like,
Mom, before there was the internet, what did you do?
what did you do? Yeah, tummy sleeping. Ugh, if you haven't listened to us, the sleep controversy, go back and listen to our last episode. We talk all about sleep and what a controversy it is in babies. So we did get some questions also. We don't
We
just
did. We're not just
we're not just gonna channel Selena and talk about pink eye.
although we already did some channeling, which I love.
I
We
love
got
it
some
so
good
much.
questions. You guys are like turning up the heat, which I like.
I really like. I feel like we should just pick a couple
Yeah, we have
because we
so
have a
many good
lot.
ones. Then we've already talked a lot.
Okay, you pick one and then I'll pick one.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I know which I thought. Okay, so and there's two that I really want to pick for you. I'm going to start with this one though.
Okay.
How can I consistently prioritize and implement things that do me good?
Oh,
Mhm.
you just have to do it. And what I'm hearing is stop saying that you're going to try.
Ooh.
Say you're going to do it. It's like the saying and like your words carrying such a vibration. Say, I'm going to do it. Not, I'm going
Mhm.
to try, because that leaves an out, that leaves room for like old patterns to sink back in and like you to fall into this old pattern. Say, I'm going to do this. Not, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it. Because trying is doing.
And the pattern that I'm feeling is that pattern of failure, that you will
Yeah.
never get it right, that no matter how hard you try, it will never be good enough. And you're just
Yeah.
giving yourself a daily
A
example
pass.
of that to
Mhm.
live that out until you actually change your thinking to be like, this is what I'm doing today.
Do it. Yeah. Just do it.
Oh God, I love that. The other thing that I think is how can I consistently prioritize and implement things that do me good? I would
Oh,
also recommend unhooking from that do
from
me
good.
good, right? Like it's like you
Right.
have to prioritize things that do you good because that's not your natural state.
And
And
maybe you
yeah.
have a lot of conditioning around what good is. When
Yes.
good can change minute by minute, day by day, like what is it actually that you want to prioritize because you are already prioritizing those things?
Yeah.
So why aren't they good? Why don't you think they're good?
Yes. And I'm going to give you a little gift for that good, which is enough. Oh, here you go.
Let's change that word.
Good enough, right?
Hmm.
Like because that will help you to detangle the good, right? Until
Hmm.
you can get to a new place. That's what I found. That's the antidote or the key to the good. What's good is the enough part.
Yeah.
It's a measurement. And so if we fill up that measurement and you say you are good enough, then you can actually look into what is really good for you.
Yeah.
And maybe
And
that is
also,
not doing nothing that day or
right. What does it
whatever.
look like? Decondition what good. It feels like you're shoulding on yourself with this question. Like, this is what I should be doing
Yeah.
because I've been told this is good for me.
Yeah.
And instead, like, it's Pisces season. Lean into what feels good.
Yeah. Because when you are leaning into what feels good, the natural flow of the rest of your day will be that. I
Oh,
feel like you will naturally
yes.
choose healthy things. You'll go for that walk. You'll do the things. You'll make the time, whatever it is. You'll make the healthy food. You won't stop at the fast food place, like whatever it is, that you're judging yourself on or thinking about.
Hmm.
Like you will just do it naturally because you're in that flow state of actually listening to your body, of actually following what you want to do.
And the
Oh,
things that
that's
you
so
want to
freeing.
do, tell yourself that it's good for you. And it
Yeah.
will be. It changes the whole vibration of it. Because if you're just doing things that you should do because you think they're good or you've been told that they're good to do, like that's going to have a terrible vibration. You're probably going to be in a bad mood.
And that doesn't last, which is why you
No.
can't do it consistently.
Correct. Boom.
Boom. Feather
Mic drop.
drop.
I really liked that question. That was fun.
Thank you.
Okay.
Not to me, but to the person.
No, I loved it. That was a great question.
Okay.
Okay. For you, Jess,
Mm-hmm.
would a spirit baby feel a certain way if we named them a name they don't want? And vice versa, if they wanted a specific name we didn't like but went with it?
Yeah. So I love this question because there's so much tied up in just how y'all ask the question. The answer is in that. So
it is.
I'm going to just take the first part. Would a spirit baby feel a certain way if we name them a name they don't want? I'm going to say, like, what do you think? I'm going to name you something that you don't want. And how are you going to feel about that? I'm going to guess that they're not going to like that. Right. And then same thing, vice versa. If they wanted a name and you didn't like it, but you went with it, how would that make you feel? Not so great either. Right. So the key in this question is, how do I summarize this, Spirit? You guys have to break down the standards and the levels at which you judge your parenting. It's too much, you guys. It's too much. Like, it's the fact that, like, you're going to ruin your kid with a name. Now, are there energetics to a name? Yes. Are there preferences that a kid wants? Yes. And I'll tell you the story that I always tell clients. You know, you ask a 3-year-old kid what they want for dinner, they're going to say ice cream. But you're the parent. Do you give them ice cream? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Right. Depends on a variety of factors of that day. Right. So it's like, when I get these questions from parents, and I see this a lot in my sessions, they're like, spirit baby, tell me what to do. Tell me how to lead you. Tell me how to this. And I want to be the best parent, but it's still this very external, like, now you're waiting for the spirit baby's answers versus truly being in a, hey, spirit baby, I'm open ears as your mom or dad to be. But also I'm here on earth. I know what's going on. We got a sibling, we got a dog, we got a grandma, we got a whatever. Like, you're also going to have to take all those other things into consideration. So just as a general, like, less dependency of doing everything that your spirit babies say and more about this co-creation energy. So if I go back to the name, would a spirit baby feel a certain way if they were named a name that they don't want? Yes, they will feel a certain way. They may not feel like themselves is what they're saying to me. They may feel, especially if it's a family name, they will pick up the characteristics of said family member. So I want you guys to know this. Yeah. When you choose it, especially when you're like, I'm naming them after my grandma, you know, you're naming them for those certain qualities. So just know that, like, energies, family names carry that kind of stuff. But like, they may, and so what they're saying to me is, if they get that kind of name, they will either find a nickname quickly. They will get a family name like Bubba or Junior or Buddy or some other crazy name from their whatever existence. Kenya, right? They will, and so just kind of like, they will find a way through that. They're saying, you know, all the way to the extreme that they could change their name, right? Like, people still do that. And there are people who actually will, like, work with you to, like, find the great vibration if you have, like, a weird name or stuff like that. So yes, it can affect your kids in a certain way, but, like, it's more about choosing a name that feels energetic. Sometimes your spirit babies will channel them to you, download you. I just had a client message me about this really sweet naming story, right? So it's just, it will come naturally. And then if it doesn't come up, then, like, give them a name that feels good. Give them, sometimes I get, like, we want a name with meaning, or we want to be named after flowers, or, you know, we don't care what you name us, you know? And then I actually told parents, like, your kid wants to be named this. And they're like, nope, we're naming him this. Right. So because they like that name and that's the name that they want for their kids. And, you know, like, same thing. If a kid says, I want to be named this, because sometimes I'll hear their past life name or the name that they are now, and they're like, we don't really like that name or whatever. That's okay.
Yeah. Pick a name you like.
Right. It's okay. Like, you know, and I guess maybe what I'm trying to fill into collectively is, like, the importance of what we call ourselves. Like, that's a big deal, I guess, for people and that stuff. So I guess I understand why people are, like, sensitive about it and wanting to do it right. But I don't know. I don't think you can, like, really mess it up. If you're like, at least their spirit beings are saying, like, if we give you a name or you hear a name, like, at least consider it, or at least, you know, feel
try it on for a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll say, like, you might need to meet the child in person before you name them, you know? So like, if you have a couple of names. Yeah. And then, you know, there's a lot of stuff around, like, people having the same names in families, like your cousin stole my baby name. So there's some politics in names as well.
But that also happens on purpose.
It does. But yeah, it's just, I would say, like, yeah, it's the feel a certain way thing. It's more just about, like, getting a respect with your children, right? Respecting their choices, even if you want to choose differently, and having them respect yours, you know, even if they want to choose differently. Like, it's part of that initial relationship building, right? My guides are saying like, give them a cool middle name so they can go by that.
Yeah, that's also an option. They
Yeah.
can have 2 names. They
Yeah,
have options. Give them options.
exactly. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No,
Because
that
you
feels
just
really
named
good.
a baby.
We
Yeah.
did just name a baby, but her name came through really strongly. Like we had an entirely different name picked out. And then we heard this one and I was like, man, we just kept coming back to this name. We just kept coming back to Maeve. And I was like, no, Maeve just like really feels good. We talked about other names, thought about them, but ultimately it just felt the best.
Yeah.
And I really think she sent it.
Yeah.
The middle name was harder. And I think we talked about that
Yeah.
because she came to you and was like, this is my middle name, like the day after we decided.
I know it was, oh, I miss those days. Now her aliens show up instead.
I love it.
Her alien starseed family is like, hi, we're going to
Such an
communicate.
alien.
But she was so cute.
She's still pretty cute.
I know, but I don't get to talk to her in the spirit baby form. Now she's like, boobs,
Here, yeah.
poop.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. Boobs.
I mean,
Hey,
she's
Tess.
not. She's still celestial, but they're just different when they're in human form to talk to, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Is that I'm going to ask you another one now?
Sure.
I
Yes.
want to ask you this one.
Okay.
Can I give my guides a name or should
Mhm.
I wait until they tell me?
Some of them come through really strong with a name.
Mhm.
But if you already have an idea of what you want to call them, then call them that. Honestly, it's just like the name establishes an energy of familiarity. So if they give you a name and it doesn't feel familiar, it doesn't feel relatable or accessible, then yeah, give them a different name. My mother-in-law named her guides like Bob and something. Like like I don't remember what they are.
Bob and Frank.
Something. Yeah, that was coming, but no, it's like a man, it's like a female and a male energy. But she gave them names because that's how she accesses their energy more readily. So yes, if you want to give them a name that feels accessible for you, sure. But if you would rather them give you a name, a lot of the times too, it's not like a name that you can translate into
Yeah.
earth speak. Like so give
Into
them
Earth
it
speak.
into earth speak, not
Also
necessarily
called
English.
like English or
Not
other language.
necessarily, no, like
No, that's true. Other
like their
language.
name is like a frequency, their name is a
Yeah.
sound, their name is a feeling, like so yes, you can give them a name unless they come through and they're like, this is my name, like my
Yeah.
yard filling with ravens. My
Yeah.
guide is Raven.
Oh, but like does your Raven have a name?
His name is Raven.
His name is Raven. Okay. Raven
Yeah.
the Raven.
No, it's
Just
not even
Raven.
like the animal. Like it was after I had
Oh.
started, I like set the intention that I wanted to connect more with my spirit guide. And then my yard filled with Raven.
Oh, so he's like my name, or they're like my name
My
is
name is
Raven.
Raven.
And
Yes.
you're like, what? And then all these ravens showed up. He's like, Raven, get it?
Confirm. Yeah.
That's like a spiritual elbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
So
kind.
you could also do that too.
What?
Can you hear Maeve crying?
No.
Good.
I can never hear things that you
It's
say.
loud. Good. That's a good thing.
Oh, I heard that. Like that, like, ah! That one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's loud.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. She's gonna have to eat soon.
All right. She's expressing herself, as we like to
She
say.
is, and we love it, and we hear her. We do not shush her. I tell you, I hear you.
I hear you, sister.
Thank you for
Okay.
filling me in.
How do you, if they don't give you a name and you want to name them, how do you propose doing that?
Ask for a name to come to you.
Yeah. And
Or
then
if
just,
there's a name, like if you feel a grandmotherly energy, maybe name them after your grandmother. Like you can do name
yeah.
associations too.
And
Or
then
if you're
just be
sitting
like,
outside.
hey, I'm gonna call you Charlotte.
Yeah.
And they're
And
like,
like
cool.
see if it feels good.
Yeah.
Again, like Lena, you just have to do what feels good. Because
Mhm.
that's the energetic meetup point, is the feeling
Yeah.
associated with it.
Yeah. And I think what I want to add on to this is like, there's also this like very perfunctory part of like working with your guides, which is like, how would you interact with humans? Like,
It's the same.
somebody would be like, hey, my name is Bob. Great. I know your name. Or if like
Right.
you met somebody, but you never got their name, be like, oh, it's the girl with the cool hair. Right.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's like, there's some kind of anchor there. So,
Yeah.
just treat it as such. And then always remember to go visit them and give them offerings and love and gratitude without always asking them for help. I mean, you can always do that, but it's just nice to build that
It's just a
relationship with them.
conversation.
Yeah. Just go check in with them. They're always there for you.
But yeah, I love that. Some of them do have like, especially if you connect with archetypes more as guides, then obviously they have a name.
Yeah. And then if you do work with like deities, ascended masters, aliens, all the other stuff.
Sky
Daddy. Some of them will have specific names, like, oh, that's Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And then some of them will just be like you said. I love that, like a vibration. What's your name?
They'll give you a feeling. Yeah, which I actually have a practice for that in my course, in the like meet your spirit guide section of the course. It's like you can ask them different ways to connect with them. They give you like a feeling or a sound or an image or whatever. Like, it's a practice.
Okay, here's what my guys want me to say about that part of your course. Like, they're so funny. They're just like, it works. And they're saying it and like
it does.
They're saying it in like a 1950s cleaning house. Like, it works. Like,
it works.
But like, I met this guide when I did that part of the journey, and it was like so fast, so easy, so clear. And like what they want me to like tell people is like, okay, this is weird, you guys. I guess that I'll just say what they're saying and then we can figure it out from here. But they're saying like there's like spiritual containers around the work that you do. So like they're saying, we know it might just look like or sound like or feel like a meditation, but it's more than that. Like what you're like your work looks simple and easy because it's meant to be approachable. But there's some crazy ass shit going on.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really direct if that's your jam.
Like if I was just to read the script of what Natalie said, it wouldn't be the same as how you've done it. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like it's more than just the meditation. It's more than just what's going on or the way that you've set it up. It's like freaking access. I think it's all your Akashic records stuff. That's what it feels like to me. That's why it feels so damn quick. It's just like
it is quick. I think the meditation's like 5 minutes. Like
Natalie doesn't have time for shit, you guys. Okay, she's like, we're not messing around. Let's meet your guys.
I have a baby. Yeah,
I have a baby.
I have a life. You have a life.
I met one of my guides recently, knows a crow, and he was like dancing on me, and he was like, and I was doing this journey with these two other friends, and they had these like epic fucking journeys, and I was like, I was in a field, a crow was like pecking all this stuff out of me and he was dancing on me. And I'm like, and it made sense later on for me. But I was like, I could, if you've ever done a shamanic journey and you've ever seen an animal dance in a shamanic journey, it is so fucking hypnotizing. And I remember there was this girl in in my training and she was like, this bear was dancing. I was like, whatever, that's cool. And then I saw I'm such a fucking bitch. But I was like, whatever. No, but then I saw my crow dancing and all I wanted to do was journey back and watch him dance. That's all I wanted to do. It's like when you're hypnotized and it feels so relaxing. And he was like dancing and he gave me howlite. So I bought some howlite to work with.
Oh, I love that. I call that a rage stone.
Oh yeah. See, I was like, boo, boo, boo. He's like dancing. It's like all this shit was coming out. And then I was like, what's your name? And he's like, Oscar.
I love that.
I was just like, and so now whenever I see the crows outside, I'm like, Oscar the crow, like Oscar the grouch, like how
cute. Do you also live in a trash can?
I know he does. They all do. All my crows do here. They all pick out of the trash can. So I just thought that was cute. So
of course,
when it comes, it will come. You know, like, and it'll just, and that's not a name I like. I mean, I like the name Oscar, but it's not a name I would pick. You know, so I would be aware of that too. Like sometimes you might get a really funky name, or you might get like Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jenna's is Bob. I think it's Robert. I think we call him Bob. Yeah. Like, yeah, his name is Robert. He's like this giant, burly, like Viking energy.
Whoa.
Who's like super hands off, but she'll like see him sometimes and like.
Oh, I did want to say that as a side note. You may also not have a lot of interactions from your guides for your own choosing.
A lot of
people have like, I don't want to say like no guides, but like
they're just hands off.
Super hands off. Like only if we're called in under these and circumstances. Otherwise, this soul is like, I want to figure this shit out without any of this.
I want to do it.
Assistance or experience or whatever.
That's Jenna. Jenna has very hands off.
Why guides. People? I'm just like, can I get another guide?
Is there another guide that can fix this? Yeah.
Like have them over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Vegetarian,
That
of
was a
course, for all my
great
Hindu
question.
guides. Yes. Okay. Should we do one more, or are we good?
Maeve is losing her shit.
Okay, she's losing her shit, so that's it.
Yeah, so I think that we're good. I think that's solid, complete for this week.
We're on Maeve's schedule. I told
we
that
are.
to my husband. I was like, "Oh, we're on Maeve's schedule, not Natalie's or mine today."
It's
I was
totally
up at 8:30, ready to go. You're like, "So I'll see you in like 2 hours." I was like, "Okay, great, yeah."
I thought
I was like, "Okay, I'm awake. It's okay." I just chilled. It was nice.
we're just on Maeve's schedule.
Okay, so you're gonna go feed her. We're gonna see everybody next week. We do have more questions. We also have tarot cards for the collective, which we still haven't got to, but
because next episode, astrological new year.
Yes, we're gonna put out a little plug that our friend Sarah comes back. If you're
Hopefully,
listening, Sarah, we love you. But if not, now I can like creak through it.
Creak through. I think we could do a great job. I already have cards that came through for the collective for like the new astrological year, so I'm really excited. Cards? Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can see them. You guys can't. They're so good. See, cliffhanger. We're learning.
Love it. Cliffhanger. Be sure to tune in next time to see if your question gets answered
on
and to
the
hear about
next
the energy
episode
of the new year. Yeah.
Toodaloo.
Bye for now.
That's my sign off. Wait, okay.